There's a man out there in the world who fights not for good or for evil, but for family, to protect people from one thing: loss. Tariq Geiger is a man older than time itself. He's like, I don't know, 40, and born from a nuclear bomb mixing radiation with bone cancer. I'm jumping a bit, but Tariq loses his family to the fallout and is left with nothing, except the best dog I've read about since Nina, Barney, the two-headed wonder, who actually gets a heartbreaking backstory that I did not expect, but that's off topic. Tariq has nothing left except Barney, the good boy, and the superpower of distilled radioactivity to become the Glowing Man, or Joe Glow if you prefer. It's a weirdly interesting character created by Geoff Johns and Gary Frank. When I read it the first time, I didn't get all the hype, but I wanted to collect everything by Ghost Machine because something spiritually called me to, and I eventually found myself unable to stop thinking about Geiger, especially after I found out about the 2021 series, but I'll touch on that more later. I kept coming back for more, but I didn't know why, and I think I finally figured it out. It wasn't just the world building, the art, or the story, it was the themes. Geiger is a good example of a modern-day Byronic hero, and Geoff Johns and Gary Frank do a great job exploring the emotional journey someone like that would go on. It's deeper than the fact that he's moody. The book has been built from the ground up to reflect loss. Society is gone, the world is desolate and empty, the air is toxic, he lost his family, and he even loses Tariq Geiger himself. And now, he's just the Glowing Man. But then Nate, the Nuclear Knight, shows up. He's lost a lot too, but the difference with him is that he was never really accustomed to having. He's been a loser since day one, so loss just doesn't mean the same thing to him. And it's with that different experience that he brings in a new perspective. Though loss is unavoidable, we still have the option to pick ourselves back up and try to be better, try to regain the hole in ourselves that was a victim to loss. I mean, for Nate it's even more dramatic because he's fighting to even have something worth losing, but you know, different plays on the same theme is like the most exciting part of stories, so you know, whatever. You can even physically see this in issue 3 when Geiger, who is a man of few words and only has books to pass the time, accidentally burns the book he's reading. Great! Can't even enjoy the simplest things that life has left. So Nate, the embodiment of rejecting loss, makes a very dangerous trek out at night to a library a few hours away to find Geiger a replacement book. I think this story perfectly embodies what I'm trying to get at with this video. Geiger lost. Nate rejects that and goes on a journey to replace what was lost. And if you still don't get it, I'm not usually this serious in my like real actual life, so you know, sorry I let you down, but I'm gonna keep gushing as if we're on the same wavelength. But geez, even throwaway things like the Oregon people are great because they used to be people but lost their humanity in the fallout. They're the physical manifestation of what happens when you let loss consume you. Just monsters that roam around and destroy everything that crosses our path. Heck, Geiger is halfway there. He's part monster and is one misstep away from blowing up. That is, until he learns there might be a cure. There could be a way for him to get rid of the Glowing Man forever. This is actually the start of the current run and also when Nate shows up.
Coincidence? I think not!
I love that clip. Because thematically, the cure that Geiger is searching for, the thing that will get rid of the Glowing Man, it isn't some mystical, I don't know, pill. They haven't really said what it would be. The cure is Nate. It's a change in perspective. The Glowing Man is here, and that sucks, but the more that Geiger rejects him, the more it negatively impacts him. What Nate wants for Geiger is to have him accept that the Glowing Man is a part of him, to allow the Glowing Man to be a part of Geiger. Not what defines him, but merely accepting that he's here to stay, but can be used in a positive way. I know that I spent this whole time trying to be all Alex Lennon and like dramatic, but do you see what I mean about theming? Take away the theme of loss, and what do you have? Nothing. In fact, I could say that with confidence because I picked up issue 1 of Geiger without knowing there was a miniseries before this. I did not like it. It seemed like there was nothing to it. Just some sad bald guy and an annoying sidekick. And none of it clicked. I felt no cohesion because I lacked that emotional, thematic context. It also helps to read that original Geiger run so you can experience the same loss that Geiger does. That whole thing was nuts. But you know all that? Yeah, that was just me talking about the first 5 issues, kind of the first 3, but it was all relative to the 5th one. And now that I've been dramatic and done what I can to lay out my point, I'm just gonna vent now, because if you don't read this, you have no clue what you're missing out on, dude. Like, bro, I just read issue 6, which oh my sweet baby Jesus. This is about tackle trauma bonding, being oppressed, the Caesar's window psychology of oppression, which in this case is the idea that hiding, while not enjoyable, at least technically allows him to have a life. Standing up against oppression, all culminating in a world that, while may not be rid of evil, at least will let them be. Essentially, they took, my voice cracks so bad that, essentially, they took every single theme from the Planet of the Apes trilogy and crammed it into one beautiful 32-page issue. You don't get it, dude. I've looked at the math. You're not physically able to do that. So how did they pull it off? Oh, and I completely forgot to mention that the main character of this issue is friggin' Barney. They managed to not only condense Planet of the Apes, but show us the trauma Barney endured during the events of the past couple issues, and explore Barney as a character with his rejection of oppression that will further align him with the superhero actions of Geiger and Nate. Johns! Bro, what powers hath God bestowed thee? That shit was beautiful. with a capital is afraid. And they introduced an adorable new animal companion. I can't, bro. Issues 7 through 10 were also great, but 6 is my favorite, so I wanted to, talk about that. I am incredibly interested to see what happens in the next couple of issues, given the reveal at the end of issue 10. I also really need to read Junkyard Joe. I don't know how I haven't read that yet. Hopefully there's enough for me to discuss that I can cover Geiger each time a new issue comes out, but I won't force anything, so it might take longer. Either way, please subscribe if you want to listen to me yap about Geiger or, other comics. And that's the end of the video. I don't have anything else to add. I mean, I considered trying to be funny, but there's no need to waste your time. Just click the subscribe button and, I don't know, go pet a dog or something. Have a good day, guys.